Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. We are live. I'm Carl Peterson, Credit Suite's content and social media lead. And today I'm sharing my 5 best tips to quickly establish an 80 Paydex score for your business. Also, we are live. I just said it, but just to clarify, this is live. So feel free to say hello in chat. I always look forward to seeing where everybody's from and where you're located. You can even drop your business name in chat. I'll give you a shout out right here. And afterwards it becomes a video and it lives forever on our YouTube and Facebook and all of our socials. So you can have that just kind of lingering in the wild. Who knows who watches these things? Somebody could call up and say, "Hey, I saw you on Credit Suite stream about 6 months ago. I need your service." So not a guarantee, but that'd be pretty cool. Free marketing, right? So say hi in chat. I'll always say hi back. Let's begin with today's topic. Okay. So today's topic is, I guess, why having a Paydex score, especially a high Paydex score, is important. Okay. So getting to 80 Paydex score fast is the main topic for today. But why does any of that even matter? So the Paydex score is widely used for a business credit score. So it's trusted by lenders, credit issuers, insurance companies, and just countless others that ultimately depend on this scoring to accurately tell you and them and everybody who's involved in this process your business's credit worthiness, right? So with an 80 Paydex score, you can access better terms, higher credit limits, and easier financing, all just critical for actually growing your business. All that sounds really, really positive, right? It's really important. A high Paydex score is super important. So if you've been struggling to actually get the funding that you need, that your business needs to take the next step or have longevity or whatever the case may be, achieving this score can absolutely open those doors for you. Hello, Carl. Dawn Cleaner LLC from Rhode Island, Providence in the building. Hello, Dawn Cleaner LLC coming over from YouTube. Nice to see you. And if you're just coming in, drop your name in chat, drop where you're located. I'll give you a shout out just like I did to Dawn Cleaner LLC in Rhode Island. Nice to have you here. So let's dive into these 5 steps to get you there, to get you to that 80 or higher or close to 80 Paydex score to actually get this funding and lower rates and happily ever after funding story for your business. So step number 1 is just you got to set your business up for credibility. That is just the number one, pretty much across the board rule. But when we're talking about Paydex scores and having a high Paydex score, you have to set your business up for credibility. So before you can actually build business credit, you have to make sure your business looks credible to lenders. That makes sense to me, right? So this means that pretty much the main overheading rule here is separating your business and personal finances. We call this fundability. So here's how. So you need to form a legal entity, right? So an LLC, an S corp, a C corp, whatever is relevant and makes the most sense to you. Next, you need to get an EIN number from the IRS. You can't build business credit without one. So that's a big step. You have to use a professional business address, a phone number, an email, and a website. These things matter. You need to avoid using any kind of personal addresses or phone numbers or Facebook profiles as your website. You want to make it all look legitimate with your company's branding and names across the board. Okay. So you want to avoid using any kind of personal things for that. You also want to secure any required business license for your industry or location. Now, obviously, that's not relevant for everybody, but let me ask you, are you sure? It's not the craziest thing that you could be open for many years and not even realize that you don't even have the correct business license yet. So you need to double check that. Even if you are deep into owning a business, you need to make sure that you have those business license for your industry and your location. And then you also just need to open up a business bank account. So you want to really, the whole plan is to just cut right down the middle, a very clear line between you and your business. So lenders and credit issuers and even Dun and Bradstreet look at these factors to actually decide, is your business fundable. Skipping any of these steps could actually prevent you from building business credit and accessing financing. You know how silly it would be to lose funding and ultimately having or losing funding potential and potentially having to close your doors because you just couldn't get funding because all because doesn't matter how good of an idea you had or how good of an entrepreneur you are. Could you imagine having to close your doors and not even knowing that it was because of a Yahoo email address? This happens. This happens. If you can't secure the funding you need because of one of these roadblocks, it's that big of a deal. You might be watching and saying that doesn't happen. It happens all of the time. We've helped over 50,000 business owners, and we've seen firsthand how much all of this actually matters. You won't believe the numbers of people that call us or email us and I can't get funding. I can't figure out why. I've done this. My business all checks out. This. Oh, it's because you're using your personal address instead of a business address. It's little tiny things. So then, the number one reason that businesses get denied for funding. Does anybody want to guess in chat? Drop in chat. I'm happy to take a little trivia moment right here. Pause. I'd like to know if anybody wants to guess the number one reason someone gets denied funding. I mean, I'll give you a little hint. We've been talking about it, right? So it is because of fraud. Now, that doesn't mean you are a fraud or you could have a completely legitimate business with great intentions, but red flags may make lenders question that. On paper, you may look like a fraud or something may look fraudulent with your business, but don't take that personal. It just happens, but it doesn't have to. Having a strong fundability foundation can avoid these red flags and also speed that process up for you. We'll touch more on that later. But again, even if you have pure intentions and you're not a fraud and everything's legitimate, on paper, it may not appear that way. Again, we'll touch on more of that later. Step number 2, you need to get a DUNS number. So the next step is to just go directly to Dun & Bradstreet and get a free DUNS number. This unique identifier is essential for creating a business credit profile with D&B and then also obviously obtaining a Paydex score. I'll give you a little quick, I'll drop it in chat as well for you. I'll give you a little quick link so you can do that. So creditsuite.com, just whatever platform you're watching on right now, I just dropped a link in chat. You can visit creditsuite.com/DUNS, DUNS, to apply. The application process only takes 5 to 10 minutes at the most, and you will receive the DUNS number on average about 1 to 3 weeks. Obviously, that time frame goes up and down depending on factors, but on average, you're looking at around around a month or less in most cases. Again, you can get that at creditsuite.com/DUNS. It will take you just right to that application process. Here's a little pro tip though. If you completed all of the step 1 that we just talked about, the fundability foundation, if you set that up correctly, you already have all the information you need to answer those D&B questions during the application process. So it might take you might do a DUNS number speed record here if you I said 5 to 10, but if you have what you need and have all that information, it might take you less than that. Creditsuite.com/DUNS to get you there. So now that you know why or what a DUNS number is, why is it so important? Well, simply put, without it, D&B won't create a credit profile for your business and you cannot get a Paydex score. So it is an absolute crucial step in this process. Tip number 3 is establish starter vendor accounts. Okay, so we've got our fundability foundation good to go. Step number 2, we've acquired our DUNS number. Now it's actually time to start getting money. It's time to start putting all that paperwork to use, right? So now you have a DUNS number. Now it's time to actually turn around and build a business credit profile with what we call starter vendors, right? So these are companies that will extend small lines of credit to your business, to your business and report your payment history to D&B. I've been talking too much. My voice just went out for about a millisecond there. Like I said, we're live. There's proof right there. By the way, if you're just coming in, drop your name in chat, your business location, where you're at. I'll give you a shout out right now. So some great starter vendors that we absolutely love. I'll give you 3 right now. Quill. So that's office supplies and equipment. Granger is another one. So industry and maintenance supplies. And then also Uline is one that you hear us talk about a lot, which is packaging and shipping supplies. Regardless of which starter vendor you go with, make sure that they report to DNB. Please hear me when I say that. Regardless of what you go with, regardless if it's one of the three I just said or one of the thousands others pretty much that's out there, make sure that they report to D and B. If possible, select vendors that report to multiple bureaus like D and B, Experian, and Equifax to build your credit profile even faster. You kind of get like a three multiplier there, right? So remember, Dun& Bradstreet won't generate a credit profile or a Paydex score until at least three accounts have been reported. So this step is vital for getting started. GDTV. Hello there, Carl, coming over from YouTube. Nice to see you, GDTV. Credit Suite's partners fundability. Amazing. So nice to have you here. Thanks for checking out the stream and you've been in these before, so nice to see you again for sure. So let's pause for a moment and actually let's talk about why starter vendors are such a game changer. So many traditional lenders require a business to have established credit before actually approving loans or lines of credit. But here's the challenge. It's a challenge that millions of businesses run into. You can't get approved for credit if you don't already have a credit history. It's just this vicious funding cycle that so many people run into. Starter vendors break that cycle. So they're willing to extend credit to businesses with no prior history, allowing you to actually build that foundation. And once you've once you've established accounts with these vendors, they'll report the credit activity to DNB, and then that will help you turn around and create a business credit profile and actually get one step closer to achieving that 80 Paydex score. Let's move to number 4, tip number 4, which is just pay your bills on time or early. So this is where the Paydex score is pretty much truly determined, right? So your Paydex score is pretty much 100% based on how you pay your bills. Here's how the scores work, okay? So paying 30 days late results in a 70 Paydex score. Again, now this is not set in stone. Everything there's a lot of factors that play into this, but this is generally speaking, okay? So paying on time earns you are obviously the desired 80 Paydex score. Paying early can even increase that to 85, 90, or even higher. It's that simple. You just pay your bills on time or ahead of schedule. But there's one more thing to consider here, okay? What if you can't pay your bills on time? It happens. It happens, right? The suggestion here is to reach out to the vendor immediately and ask for an extension or a negotiation of a partial payment, or do whatever you can to figure out a solution. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to vendors. You can't imagine how many vendors are out there and how many lenders are out there, and they just are completely, we call it ghosted, right? Like completely, you don't hear anything from them. Hey, we're going to call you 500 times, seeing where that payment is. Reach out to them. I'm telling you right now that it goes a long way, and you may actually find a solution that you weren't expecting, and everybody wins at that point, right? But you want to avoid late payments at all costs. Do whatever you can, and they will hurt your score, and they will make it harder to build strong business credit and potentially just a snowball effect for the future of your business. So make sure that it's a priority. Which brings us to tip number 5, which is keep building business credit. So building business credit isn't a one and done thing. It never has been, and it never will be. There's no way it ever will be. So it is an ongoing process. The more accounts that you have reporting to these bureaus, the deeper your credit profile becomes, the more enhanced, the more it's built out, right? This opens the door to way better financing options. So now all of a sudden you move from starter vendors, and now you can actually get loans and credit lines and business credit cards and all these super cool things that come with it, like all these business credit cards that have perks, and all of a sudden now you're cashing in perks for personal, or you can turn around for business as well, and you can use those points, as you need. But um, that's a benefit. That's a benefit. You open a lot more financing doors. That's what you want. So here's how you keep on building. Okay, you want to add new accounts, new vendor accounts every few months. Okay, you want to apply for business credit cards that report to DNB, Experian, and Equifax. All three will give you a little bit of a supercharge there. That is what you want. If you don't know if they do, ask them. They are very open. I don't know who you're getting your funding from, but I'm letting you know right now that is a very basic question that they should be able to answer very, very easily. Just ask them, hey, who do you report to? And if they're not reporting to any of them, you should maybe consider one that does. And then you also want to monitor your credit reports regularly to actually ensure that all of these payments that you're working hard are on making sure that they're being paid on time or early are actually reported accurately. You don't want to put yourself in a financial bind just to make sure your Paydex score gets high, just to see that it's not even reporting correctly. So you have to keep a very, very, very close eye on making sure that these payments are reported regularly. And remember, maintaining a strong payday score means paying your bills on time or early, but other business credit scores also consider additional factors too. So I would also, if I was you, just ask or look up exactly whoever you're getting your funding from. Hey, who do you report to? And also, what are the additional factors that can help my score out? Asking goes a long way. If you're feeling overwhelmed or not too sure on where to start, guess what? You are in the perfect place at the right time. Two things I have to tell you about. So the first one is our EIN guide. Okay, this has been downloaded over 1 million times, and it is packed with just information, actionable tips. It's a great guide. There's a reason that it's been downloaded over 1 million times. I'm going to drop that in chat right now. You can find that at creditsuite.com/EIN, whatever platform you're watching on right now. You can just simply look at that link. It was just dropped in chat. Second thing, which I mentioned I would touch more on at the start, it's about your fundability. Okay, so we have a brand new tool called the Fundability Scan. It's been out for about a month and a half now. I've talked about it, I think every stream that I've done. I've talked about it on socials as well. And honestly, I'm going to talk about it forever because it's incredible. This thing only takes 60 seconds and it tells you exactly what lenders see about your specific business. Let me see here, your specific business, and also tells you the green and red flags attached to that information. This is huge. So take advantage of it. You can start at fundabilityscan.com. I'm dropping that right now in chat as well. Just fundabilityscan.com, 60 seconds, and you can see what lenders see about you. It's amazing. I love it. I can't stop promoting it because it's one of the coolest things that's ever been done with Credit Suite since I've been here. So you have to take advantage of that. And with that, that is today's stream. Let's recap the 5 steps that I want you to follow. Okay. So step 1 is just set up your business for credibility. Step number 2 is get a DUNS number. Step number 3 is actually establish starter vendor accounts. Number 4 is pay your bills on time or early. And number 5 is keep building business credit. Keep going, because the more you build it, the more you unlock. And that's when you start getting into territory where you can just start getting money thrown at you practically. I mean, the largest companies on planet Earth, Apple, Walmart, Google, Amazon, all depend on business credit. They're not touching their cash flow. Why would they ever touch their cash flow? It's all business credit. So keep on building, whether you want to be the next Apple or you just want to make sure that your bills are paid. Whatever it is, you have to keep building your business credit. If you follow these steps, I'm pretty confident that you can achieve that 80 Paydex score and secure way more funding so much quicker. So much quicker. If you want to go back and watch any part of this stream again, wait a few minutes after it finishes in just a second and reload on whatever platform you're on. There will be a video version of this for you to just go back and watch and click around and do whatever you want to do with it. So, and also, if you're new here, consider sticking around. We post daily across our socials, and we do these live streams 2 times a week. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be seeing you again on our next stream coming up on Tuesday. Thanks again for joining. Talk to you real soon.